In this video, I want to share with you all the lessons I learned to make sure your journey with your beloved four-legged friend is as easy and stress-free as possible. When I first started planning this move, I thought probably the most important thing would be to book the flight or navigate through all the Thai paperwork to get her through customs. But nope, it came down to one tiny chip. Here's the deal. Before you do anything else, get your dog microchipped. But not just any chip. It has to be an ISO-compliant 15-digit microchip. This is very, very important. This thing becomes your dog's unique identifier throughout the entire system. Every single document, import forms, vaccination certificates, all rely on this 15-digit number. Okay, so now that your dog is chipped, let's get her vaxxed. Getting your dog vaccinated is absolutely critical to be able to enter Thailand. And the vaccines need to happen within a specific time window. All vaccines should be done at least 21 days before your date of departure, but not more than 1 year out. The vaccines include rabies, distemper, hepatitis, parvovirus, and leptospirosis. Now, I can't stress how important timing is here. You get any of these vaccines too early, you'll have to push your flight out, or worse, get denied at check-in. And here's a huge tip. Get all digital records of your dog from your vet. I asked Evie's regular vet to send everything to me through email. Having these PDFs on record have really helped, and it'll just make it a lot easier for your veterinarian here in Thailand to have a better idea of your dog's medical history. With your dog now protected from every disease known to canine kind, it's now time to start the glorious Thai paperwork marathon. One of the key documents to enter Thailand is something called an import permit. I'll go more in detail about this in a little bit, but here's the plot twist you don't want to miss. Before you apply for the import permit, you need to secure your dog's spot on the flight. Why? Because Thailand requires proof of confirmed air travel before they can approve your import permit. And if your dog is flying in cargo hold, which most of us have to do, you've got some extra hurdles. Here is the critical checklist. Number 1, call the airlines directly. Don't rely on websites, talk to a human. Not all airlines accept pets as checked baggage or cargo for international flights. Ask if they accept dogs in the cargo hold from your departure airport to what I assume will be Bangkok airport. Number 2, book early. There are a limited number of slots for animals for each flight. I'm sure you'll do your research online or ask ChatGPT, but from my research, I found these airlines were pretty pet friendly and allowed dogs usually in the cargo hold. Now, if you're coming from the West Coast like I did, a few airlines I found were ANA, China Airlines, and Korean Air. If you're coming from the East Coast, there's Lufthansa and Qatar Airways. These were all airlines that were pretty highly regarded. Just one important thing to note, China Airlines and most Asian carriers don't allow their staff to take your dogs out during layovers. That means no bathroom breaks for potentially 20+ hours for your dog. And that's what happened to Evie. The next step is key. Get everything in writing. An email from your airline confirming the following. Your dog's crate dimensions are approved. Your pet has a reserved cargo spot, route and transfer cities, and any special handling if offered. This isn't just for peace of mind, but it is required for your Thailand import permit. Now, once your flight is confirmed and you have your email in hand, it's time for the fun part, paperwork. With that flight booked, you're now ready to apply for the import permit. This is the official green light from Thailand's animal quarantine station. Apply no earlier than 60 days and no later than 7 days before your departure. Email them your dog's information, microchip number, vaccine proof, a photo of your lovely dog, and your flight itinerary. They usually respond pretty quickly. In my case, it was less than a week. But if they don't, just follow up with them nicely. Next up comes the health certificate. This has to be issued by a USDA accredited veterinarian. And this is probably the most important health document you'll need for your dog aside from their vaccination certificates. The veterinarian checks your dog and submits their report through an online system called VEHCS. This is the fastest way for them to submit their report to the USDA. And here's the catch. It's only valid for 10 days after the USDA endorses it. So timing is absolutely important. And here's where the stress level for me hit DEFCON 3. The Thai government requires a physical paper document stamped by the USDA. And because you don't control the timing when the USDA receives, approves, and sends back that certificate, it is a total guessing game. I had to call and text my vet multiple times to coordinate the perfect window of time. Enough buffer just in case of delays, but not too early that it would expire by the time I landed in Thailand. And get this, my intercom was actually busted. So I had to physically wait outside for the UPS truck to hand deliver me the health certificate. Here we have it. Just 2 sheets of paper, this beautiful health certificate. It was dramatic, but very necessary. All right, you've got all the paperwork done, you have your dog vaccinated, and you have your airline booked. It's now time to set up your dog's travel pod. Before I even booked Evie's flight, I had to make sure her crate was ready. Now, this wasn't just any crate. It had to be IATA compliant. What did this mean? Well, it means a TSA-friendly locking door, ventilation on all sides, and live animal stickers everywhere. Definitely research on your own. I'll include a link with all the specific requirements of how your dog must fit within the crate, but essentially, your dog has to be able to move around comfortably, turn around, and also lie down that their nose isn't hitting the front of the door, and when they're sitting, their head isn't hitting the top of the roof. Essentially, you want your dog to be comfortable anyways, and this shouldn't be a difficulty at all. One bonus tip, I also taped a Ziploc bag of all her key documents, including her health certificate, import permit, and all important vaccination certificates. I also included a "Hello, my name is Evie" tag on the front, just to make Evie more of a friendly face to the crew who would be handling her. Crate training is all about trust. When I first tried to get Evie in her crate, she was not having it and gave me the biggest side eye of betrayal. So I did what any responsible owner would do. I bribed her. I would put her favorite treats in there, her favorite toys, and little by little, she started to get used to the new plastic environment. Now, I started out with just the bottom half of the crate, and after the first week, I put the top half of the crate on. And then finally, in the remaining days, I put the door on. I really wish I had started earlier with her crate training, like months before our departure. So that's something I highly recommend that you do for your dog. And beyond just getting used to the crate, I recommend bringing your crate inside your car and going on small trips so your dog gets acclimated to the movement of being inside a confined space. Her crate will now be her refuge. And I started out with just small car trips, 5-10 minutes, and then I stretched that out to about 30 minutes, which isn't hard to do in LA traffic. Another thing I highly recommend is water bottle training. As you can imagine, water bowls aren't allowed inside the dog crates. So instead, you can attach a water bottle to your crate, which is in the style of what hamsters and rabbits drink from. They have to peck at the spout. Now, I tried to train Evie a couple weeks in advance with peanut butter, but I don't think she totally got the idea. And when she was stressed out in the pitch black cargo hold in a whole new environment, I don't think it all came to her. So I highly recommend you start early training your dog how to use the water bottle. A couple of other helpful hints. I recommend you put something that smells like you inside the crate, such as a t-shirt. In my case, I put my pillowcase. That just gives them a sense of security that you're there with them, helps reduce the stress a little bit. And because they're gonna be lying and sleeping on bare plastic the whole time, I put my memory foam seat pad in there, and this served as her mattress for the entire 20+ hour journey. So something to consider. Your dog is now a travel pro. Now let's prep you, because you're about to run a mini marathon at the airport. And for me personally, it was one of the most stressful days of my life. I don't want that to happen to you. The big day is here. You're going to depart to Thailand with your beloved dog. It probably goes without saying, but get to the airport super early, at least 3 hours before your time of departure. Don't do what I did and I left my house with just 2.5 hours to go. It was not a good situation. I barely made the flight. I'd also recommend, if you're traveling by yourself like I did, and you're probably gonna take an Uber Pet, secure your booking ahead of time and make sure that your dog's crate can fit inside the car. Another recommendation, especially for solo travelers like myself, is to scope out the airport for actual carts, because you're gonna be carrying your checked-in baggage as well as your dog's crate. And the last thing you want is not to be able to have anything to transport them with when you're under a tight deadline. All right, you have successfully arrived at the airport and you're about to check in your dog at the airport counter. Have all your key documents ready to go, including health certificate, Thai import permit, and original original vaccination certificates. And also each airline will have their own specific requirement. For me, China Airlines required I fill out a one-page registration form just detailing Evie and her specific information. Once the airlines goes through all your key documents and you're ready to go, you pay a fee for the oversized baggage. And then there is one last step. We were sent to a specific designated inspection area where a TSA officer completely combed through Evie's crate, looking for anything off and non-compliant. This completely threw me off and stressed me out because if for whatever reason the officer felt this crate was not compliant, our entire plans would be dashed. Evie would not be able to board, and obviously I wouldn't either. So definitely keep that in mind. If there's a way you can have your crate inspected ahead of time, I would definitely look into that. Well, assuming you're good to go, I was fortunate to pass through. Your airlines now has your dog. You can check in. And one last pro tip when you're about to board the plane. I reminded one of the flight attendants to remind the captain that there was a live animal on the plane in the cargo hold. The captain should already have a notification of any live animals on board, but I didn't want to leave anything to chance, and it definitely doesn't hurt to remind them. So something you definitely might want to consider doing as well. If you made it this far, congrats. You've done more paperwork than most people do to move a human. Now let's land this thing. Picture this, you've landed down in Bangkok, you're jet lagged, and you just want your dog. You won't find them at baggage claim, you have to go to the oversized baggage area. This is where they will cart out your beloved four-legged friend. It was a heartfelt moment, and I wish I could say we just were able to leave the airport from there, but no, there are two last steps. From the oversized baggage area, you have to bring your dog to the animal quarantine station, AQS, which is not too far away from the baggage claim area. Inside, they will scan your dog's microchip and make sure that number matches every document that you bring, including your health certificate, Thai import permit, all your original vaccination certificates. Assuming everything's good to go, you just have to pay a small fee. I highly recommend you bring Thai baht with you and don't rely on credit card or US dollars. Once you pass the AQS, you can now head out towards customs. And this is where it's pretty easy. You just have to pay a small customs fee and then you're good to go. Congratulations, you have made it. After months and months of preparation, paperwork, certificates, vaccinations, it's all over. Once you walk through those gates out of the airport, there's just an overwhelming sense of relief, gratitude, and absolute victory. So what did I learn aside from I would do it all again in a heartbeat? Confirm everything twice, print everything twice, and remind the crew once. I'm not gonna lie, bringing Evie over here was stressful, but seeing her safe, smiling, and licking my face, totally priceless. And I'm so grateful she is here, part of my journey, starting the next chapter of my life. And I'm sure you'll be very grateful to have your dog alongside with you when you make your move to Thailand. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I read every single one and I'll try my best to answer them. And if you want to see what happened to us in our final 24 hours in America, you got to check out this video here.